So this is what the van looks like almost first thing in the morning. I say almost, not quite, because I've used the shower and I've got dressed, so it's not exactly first thing in the morning. I point the chair around in this direction, even though I'm sitting here. This has two effects, at least. First is, it gives me the impression that the van's actually bigger. This van's only 565 centimetres long, and in my opinion, it packs almost enough to actually live in. So I turn the chair around, and not only get more space, but also I've got somewhere to put my feet. If I'm not sitting cross-legged, that is. Often I sit cross-legged. It took me ages to get used to doing that. Did that for my back. But now it's my preferred way of sitting. Alternatively, I might even put my feet on the floor. Now, when I was eating and doing something on the computer at the same time, there isn't a lot of room. To make sure there was more room, I pulled out the extension to the table here. And, oh, there's a third advantage of the chair. Should the computer fallen off, at least it landed on the chair. It would have landed on the chair and not on the floor. If there were two of you in the van, I think you want to put this one round as well all the time. This has the advantage of making more space. Now, I leave my shoes down there. It's snow out and everything's getting wet. I don't want to get this into dirty in the habitation area. Now normally what I do is I just use this door here for everything. Having said that, there is a bit of a lack of space here to take my shoes off. So what I'm now doing is I come in via the driver's side door, I take my shoes off there, and then I come into the rest of the van with my socks on. That's why I put these things down. These, okay, this is a special, this is a bathroom towel, and there I put some normal towels on the floor. The point of using towels is it does make it seem a little bit warmer. Well, not seem, it is a little bit warmer. But it's nicer on your feet, I think, than having the flooring. That's just my opinion. Anyway, others may disagree. One of the problems with this vehicle is the brake. It's on the right hand side, and it's got this where you've got to push it in and hold it, and it takes a bit of getting used to. And anyway, but that's on the brake does go down, so you can bring the chair right the way around. Personally, I prefer brake to be on the left hand side. That usually avoids that problem. But anyway, that's the way it is, and I know all Mercedes models actually have the brake now on the right hand side, or in the centre I should say, because you could be in a right hand drive car, in which case it'll be on the left hand side. We have the kitchen here. Now the kitchen is a little bit difficult when you're cooking, so you've got to improvise. So what you do is this: you're cooking here, you're doing whatever you're doing, but you need more space, and you haven't got much space here. So what I've been doing is I've put something down on the bed, and I put stuff on the bed as well. All my preparation takes place at the table anyway. There's two burners. I mean, I know some people complain that even 3 burners. I think 2 burners is absolutely sufficient for anyone. Now with a van though, you're moving stuff around all the time, and which you wouldn't do at home because you've got more space at home. Anyway, under the sink and cooker we have this fridge. It's an electric fridge. It's quite a lot of space in it, I think. And well, at the moment it's almost empty, but that's what's in it at the moment. I buy food on a daily basis anyway, so I tend not to use the fridge too much. I put the kettle on the floor. I find the kettle going on the floor, the floor's the best place for the kettle. There's still tea in it. I made some tea, and I might drink the cold tea later. May or may not, I don't know, we'll see how I feel. But having the kettle on the floor, first of all, if you leave it there when you're moving, well, the obvious could happen. You could put it in the sink, but the cover tends to fall, so it's better, I think, on the floor. Now, one problem is, I think, with the bed here, with the ladder. It's not a major problem, but it's this. Obviously, if you need to get into the hanging space which is in there, which is not really very large, or you need to use the storage here, you have to lift the ladder up and put the ladder in the back of the vehicle, on the bed somewhere. Now, it may, I mean, that may seem a problem, but it isn't. It's very easy. Also, getting up and down the ladder at night, there's no problem there at all. It doesn't look particularly user-friendly, I think, but in my experience now is that it really is user-friendly. Now we've got access to the hanging space and everything down here, and when I need to get up there again, I'll just put the ladder back. This height here is well over 1 meter, so it, you know, I can still pull myself over 1 meter, but it's not that it's not as easy as it used to be. There was a time when I wouldn't even bother to put the ladder out. Anyway, we all get older. This is the bed. Now the bed is great. It's a double bed, plenty of room around it. I left one of my bags at the back there, and here storage around it. Got some of my reading material up there about the tourist stuff. There you go, Albania. I'm seriously thinking of going to Albania at the moment. Oh, I don't know if I will or I won't. Well, we'll find out. Anyway, that's a story for another time. Here we have the washroom. Now, I keep talking about sliding doors, and this is an example. Now, isn't that easy? That's a proper door, no messing around, easy to get in, easy to get out. Now, in it, I have the shower and keep the towel in there. So the towel, though, comes out when I'm in the shower, so it doesn't get all wet, as of course does the duckboard. Now, there's not a lot of room in here, and the best way of actually showing you how little room there is to stand in it. Okay, I'm going to take the towel off, sling the towel on the bed, and there's me. And you can see there isn't a huge amount of space for the use of the shower, but you know, it'll do. Let's remember, it's 565 centimeters long. Got the toilet down there. In my opinion, this is perfectly adequate. Also, we've got a sink here, and the sink comes out like that should it be needed. If you want to put the shower back in, it goes in like this. Although you might think you need 2 hands to do it, actually. Oh dear. It's difficult doing something with holding the camera at the same time. That's the worst job I've done so far, putting that back in any vehicle. Anyway, another very useful feature is up here. Now I'll tell you, that's something to put your clothes or something when they're drying. Now here's a slightly amusing story. So I was here last night and I was cooking, and I had the pot here with the potatoes in, and on the top of the pot I was just warming something up. Anyway, so the thing I was just warming up, I put to one side as I was washing the potatoes and then putting them into the water. Then I went over to the rubbish down there to throw some bits of potatoes into it, and what happened? Foot onto the pot. So anyway, so I had to wash my socks. Washed my socks up there, and they were dry in the morning, so no problem. But that's one of the problems in the van. I had all the lights on. I mean, this vehicle's very good on electricity, but obviously it's not like in a home. You've got to be careful with electricity usage. And just to make the point here, that's what I'm on at the moment. So there we have, so you can see on the habitation battery is now down to 12 volts, so I wouldn't really want it to go any lower than that. And that's my water, which is coming to an end, and there's my wastewater, which is hardly any, and 12.5 volts on the car battery. The moment I've got it on 14 degrees, which for me is perfectly adequate. The heating system is absolutely incredible. It's really brilliant. It is so warm in this van, and it is so cold outside. It's horrendously cold, but it really is very, very warm. You get a bit of condensation on the windows, that's true, but you'd expect that. And another thing I must point out, that I have not used but an external protection for the glass. This vehicle, as far as winter use goes, it's outstanding. You know, my house isn't this warm when I live in it, of course, which isn't often, but it's I really just don't have words to say how good the heating is in this vehicle. I have never experienced anything of this nature at all. So top marks to Hymer, top marks to Tourne for this absolutely brilliant system of heating. Now I'm going to finish off my tea, which is there, and then I'm going to be on my way. And if you've got any more questions about this vehicle, and I know I gave it a bad review when it first came out because I thought it was too small and I couldn't understand who it was aimed at. Well, now I understand who it is aimed at. I want to tell you some of the problems though as well, because that would be fair. There isn't much in the way of hanging space. I know I'm always going about hanging space, but the only way you're going to do that, really, that space in there it's not suitable. There's not enough space. What you're going to have to do, I think, really, is to make something that would go in the garage. That's the only place. Bicycles have to go externally. There's no space for them in the garage, but there is plenty of space within the garage itself, so that's pretty good, I think. And let's face it, there's lots of light in here as well, and I've been seeing that this thing here goes, but let's open it up and let the sunlight flood in to the vehicle. Well, it's an overcast day here in southern Germany, but there's plenty of light in the vehicle. So, I hope you found that interesting. Thank you for watching, and please see my site www.motorhomefulltime.com.